Hi, welcome to the Beach Channel. I'm Chef Michael Jacobs, and this is South Florida Food Chat. Chef Antonio Maldonado.
Yes, Maldonado.
Maldonado.
Yes.
Wow, would never guess from Pueblo. Puebla, Mexico. Never guess.
I love Puebla, you know. Have you ever visited Puebla before?
No, I have not.
Any part of Mexico?
Yes.
What part?
I've been to all of the eastern area, from Isla Mujeres, is it?
Isla Mujeres, all the Riviera and Maya.
Yes.
Mayan Riviera.
The Mayan Riviera,
yeah,
correct.
Exactly. I mean, it's a cool area. I mean, you know, I've been living in United States already around probably 15 years. I mean, but I lived my whole life in Mexico. That's all my roots. That's all my cuisine.
How did you get into the industry? How did it start?
I mean, I've been 22 years in this. I studied culinary arts in Mexico, actually in Puebla. And then I start traveling around, you know, the country between Cancun. I had my own restaurant in Puebla, Cuernavaca, Mexico City. Then I start traveling to United States. Like I got a job in the Phoenician Scottsdale. It was a 5-star hotel.
That's a wonderful hotel.
Yes. I got a great experience there. I work in a French restaurant. So it was the best restaurant at that time at Arizona. It was 2007. From there, I moved to Beverly Hills. So I got a job in an Italian restaurant at Colina at the Four Seasons. So a great place to also 5-star. So I started getting more knowledge there.
Correct.
You know, being a cook, and I started building myself. Then I came back to Mexico, opened my business. And then from there, I have the opportunity either staying in Mexico or coming back to US and just live here.
Let's talk about where you're at now, how you came to be there, and what it's like with the concept at Campo.
Yeah, so
Campo.
Originally, you know, I know very well the executive chef from Faena. He called me once. I was at the Sirenuse, and then he's like, Antonio, there is a Mexican restaurant opening. You want to be the chef of cuisine? He's like, okay, let's do it. Between the executive chef from Faena and myself, we created all this concept, evolved it, and we came with this idea of Campo being sustainable as much as we can.
The sustainable and sourcing products has always been a challenge, not just here in Miami, but especially in Miami after COVID. It's just been really difficult.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we're dealing with all over the industry and all around. But I agree. I think sustainability, but just being able to resource, even if it's 1 or 2 items, unfortunately, that you can't get from anyone else, now you have to buy it, you know?
You know, I remember on 2022, I was at Puyol. And I remember the server was explaining all this carbon footprint, because I told him, why you don't have pork? We use a lot of pork in Mexico. It's like, you know, because the Enrique wants to be more into the carbon footprint and all these things. And I was like, okay, so I started reading more about it, you know, because things are changing. It's not like 5 years before. Everything's are moving different. So if you go to Enrique Olvera restaurant, are lighter. It's not like super heavy Mexican food that you can find anywhere. One of the great things that he's saying is like how you can create a dish with not that much fat. Because if you are in Mexico and then you see all this street food with so much fat and everything is fat, how you can create a dish with so much fat into it, you know? So from there, I think I started getting knowledge and get inspired from there, you know.
So I think it's always interesting because there aren't a lot of restaurants that talk about it. And I think the more we talk about it, the more we expose it, the more we explain to people how simple or easy it is.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to be able to compost, and you could have it back in a few weeks, a month or so, and you'll be able to use it to grow your vegetables or your herb garden that you want in the back. I mean, it's very sustainable.
Yes. I mean, we want to become a seed-free oil restaurant. The only thing, the challenge can be probably the fryer. I mean, the fryer is...
Fryer's the fryer.
Fryer's the fryer. So we're still kind of get the pricing from there and get the fry oils too. And then, you know, but it's everything, you know, it's like a chain. if I don't get ingredients from Miami, I go out of the States. Let's say, farms like Snake River Farms or Brixton Farms,
Texas.
or, things like can be, they treat the animal well. They don't have this, how is it called? Certified humane.
Yes.
And then all these things kind of I follow a lot. So how they respect the ingredient, the land, and goes to the plate.
Chef, so Campo has 3 meals a day? Is it a 3-meal restaurant?
Yes.
So tell me about the menus for the 3 meals, and then let's discuss what the...
Yes, I mean, you get continental breakfast. Your hotel guest is included. We have a brunch style, different dishes such as, very sustainable also, and healthy side, but also not the healthy side for whoever wants some pancakes that we do inside.
Brunch is Saturday, Sunday, or just...
Brunch every day, Monday to Monday.
Monday through Sunday
12
brunch.
To 4, 12 to 4 every day. You find, juices that we do every day, smoothies also, great coffees. Things like we bought bread from Sack the Baker. And we do great bowls also, and great sandwiches. We have Florida, one Florida mozzarella from Fort Lauderdale. So things that we are resourcing around, Miami.
So you're trying to use local as much as possible when you can, right? Which goes back to the carbon footprint.
Yeah, exactly, and
local and product.
Exactly, and respecting, the land, and to be also tasty, So you get you want to nice French toast to be, very tasty also.
Well, if the guy's baking the bread here and it's just a few hours old, or it's yesterday's bread that you bought and you're going to make French toast, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Seriously, of course. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, so, I think supporting local farms and everything is like a chain,
Of course.
So they give you a great product, you create it, and then it's like that, it's like a circle.
Yep.
And dinner will have different things like robata, so we cook a lot in charcoal. We have 4 different ones, a shrimp from Key West.
On the robatas, are you using a certain type of carbon, or are you just going straight electric or gas?
No, it's charcoal. We bought some good one from Japan. Mm-hmm. So it's a very tasty one. Actually, we also cake experience that we take the charcoal and we roast kind of the meringue on the table. So we kind of use a lot of these fire things, but not as Los Fuegos in Faena that they use a lot of meat. I think ourselves are more into the seafood side. So we have, for example, salmon tostada. This salmon is from Homestead. I don't know if you ever heard there is salmon in Homestead. I didn't hear it before, so until like a few months ago. So there is a salmon that they create in Homestead with all these sustainable practices.
Fantastic.
So I decided to have this salmon. I mean, I would definitely get the Ora King for, all this fat is so delicious. But definitely I'd rather to stay on the carbon footprint, so put more flavor into it and stay on the fresh and everything related on sustainable part. So that one, those mushrooms are from West Palm Beach.
Oh, fantastic.
So the interpretation of this dish is lacoyo. Still, there's a lot of inspiration of creating street food from Mexico and from Vietnam into this plating or things, So there is a combination of ingredients, We have all these hammock greens that I think they are closing. Those hammock greens are amazing greens that they do hydroponically here in next to, it's from downtown Miami, but they are about to close. So all these things that we were discussing on the small farms, it's hard for them to maintain. Then I put some kind of Comté cheese.
Comté cheese?
Comté cheese. So
French cheese?
Yes.
Swiss?
Yes.
French?
It's very delicious. Huh?
Yeah, I love Comté. It's my favorite cheese.
And then inside, as you see the tortilla that we do also in-house, we fill it with refried beans, Mexican refried beans. And also we put por salud. So it creates like a kind of arepa, but in our style that is lacoyo. So from there we put all these West Palm Beach mushrooms, the hammock greens that they are from Florida, and they're about to close. Sorry, we will need to look for different ones. And it's full of flavor, a little bit of
looks
Asian,
delicious.
hoisin, chipotle butter, and it has a lot of flavor there. And the burger, that one has great history. When I was a kid, my mom used to work a lot, so sometimes I grab the meat from the refrigerator. I was like 7 years old, like nobody was at home. I was hungry, it's like I grabbed the ground meat, and I used to watch my mom how to cook and do burgers for me. So I just turn on the fire and then put like some Maggi and pepper, then put it over there, and then create myself this burger. And then from there I evolved it to this amazing one. That is also, a bread from Zach the Baker, squash blossom, look at it. Also hammock greens from Florida. We have a Snake River Farms
ground
Wagyu beef and bison, and avocado. I have caraway aioli, tomato confit. It's a really tasty burger for me. It's my favorite because it really reminds me my childhood. My childhood memories are a lot impressed on every dish.
I think that's what we always do. We always want stuff that we remember as a child that we feel is comforting, and then we can either raise it, keep it the same, tweak it a little bit here or there, and then, like a tiradito or a crudo or something. I think those are really interesting dishes to remember.
Yeah, that one is hamachi, yellowtail, burio. I think for me is the best yellowtail that you can find. So what we usually do is like source the best ingredients, it's like not like second, like we try to source the best one. So the yellowtail burio for me is the most tasty one. You use it very well for crudo or nigiris. This one we put a little bit of ginger and kaffir sauce, a little bit of usukuchi. You have regular soy sauce, low sodium, and usukuchi. So the same, trying to respect all these light side, and then you have less sodium, so less heavy for you.
Right.
So
and
from there we put some spices.
Flavor.
Yeah, it became like a water of ginger, kaffir, like spices. We
Delicious.
put some of how is it called this one? Mandarin that we source from my great Natura. Natura, it's a company that they have vegetables, so they give us this that is from Florida also. A little bit of avocado because I'm from Mexico. So it has the spiciness, but the spiciness is removed by the avocado, the fat of avocado. So it's an amazing dish. It's great to start. We put ice on the bottom, so it stays
nice
cool.
and cold. Yeah.
So it's nice one. I really love that one.
I love when people realize that you have to eat certain dishes at a certain temperature.
Yeah,
they have to realize
enjoy
that,
them, definitely.
Because the flavors actually.
Yes. I think as much as you progress, you see like how you can get more from dishes.
How do you practice sustainability, carbon footprint, and everything that we've been talking about? What are those type of practices do you install or are installed in your kitchen, and not just here in Miami, but all over the world? How do you practice?
So I visit all these restaurants in between Japan, New York, and then I ask them, it's like, what is this, what is that, where are you getting things from? So many are really committed on getting all this carbon footprint. Sometimes goes no more than 80 kilometers round. If you are like so into like Dan Barber that you have your farm next to you and then you do everything. That will be the dream for.
Listen, Dan's great. Dan's special. We don't all have the ability to have our own farm.
Imagine that, no? So but there's another place in New York. It's called Illy's. This chef he opened Onoma back in the day with Rene Redzepi. They split, but this guy, his mind is crazy. I think one of my favorite restaurants now, and then he's respecting a lot the sustainable part in New York, getting ingredients from north. You get a lot of great ingredients from New York for sure. These all the small markets in Manhattan that you can find in the morning. They source this and there, and they create a dish. It's an amazing thing. So I get inspired from all these persons or chefs that sourcing, and they are very committed to sustainability and the land and the product and how is it coming, and not sacrificing flavor, because sometimes if you go too much, you sacrifice a lot of flavor. So for me, I don't like that. I still got on the balance. That's why I wanted to cook for Buddha, because it's the middle
Buddha,
side, So it's the same, for me, not going too much because you sacrifice a lot, Still we are cooks, we want to eat well and satisfy ourselves. So for me, that's the vision on this, you know.
What would you say your style of cooking? What are the top 3 to 5 ingredients if I wanted to cook like you at home, or anybody out there wants to go to your restaurant, eat at the restaurant, and say, well, what are like 3 to 5 staples I need to have in my kitchen at home?
Definitely chiles. You know, I use a lot of chiles. I think.
What kind of chiles?
You know, probably every single item from the menu has chiles.
That's impressive.
But the thing is, like, I've been balancing the way like people can eat it. You know, people. You know, there's like many people like, I would say South American. They don't really eat spice at all. So I've been trying to balance and play around to get to a point like I have chiles inside, but you just get this kick. You know, definitely chiles for me, it's really, really key.
Chiles,
dry chiles,
okay.
Fresh chiles, you know.
Fresh, dry, and
dry.
Canned, any?
I don't like really using cans.
Okay.
I think more dry and fresh, you know, jalapeno, habanero,
Chipotle.
serrano, chipotle from can, definitely, yes,
Okay.
Good point. There is a great brand, it's called La Moderna.
Sí.
That's the best one because definitely the other ones are not the best ones, but La Moderna for me is the best one. It's really tasty, smoky, and then you can combine with that one. Definitely that one is great.
I'd love to sit and go over combinations of chiles with you sometime. That would be fun for me. Chiles is one ingredient. What's your next?
You know, one of the things that I think from Enrique and in the past is like not using too much fat. So I have a lot of flavors on every single recipe. Like you should come and try. There's like a lot of flavors inside, but it's still in the light zone. So what I'm looking is like if you go for dinner, then you can go to sleep and don't feel like, oh,
I'm so full.
Yes, I mean, of course, I'm gonna drop you like 10 dishes to try everything. But you know, it's like I try to stay on this part, like playing around with spices, but not being in a way like it's heavy for you, you know? So I combine a lot, of course, onion, chiles, and garlic, but just in a low way, you know? It's called adobo from these three things. Adobos in Mexico, adobos you can do
everything.
You know, it's like the
sofrito
base.
for the Caribbean and the Cubans.
Exactly. You can do mole, you can do a sauce, you can do a marination, you can do anything from there. So I think from there, for me, is essential, you know? And I also infuse a lot of oils. So using 0 acre oil, which is very, you know, it has no flavor. So you really can infuse many things.
Many flavors. So how's the smoke point, burning point?
It's like super. I think you can use the pan 3 times.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you don't want to.
No, but understandable.
But you really can, you know, in a point of way, it's like, why this oil is not burning?
Fantastic.
It's great.
What are your top 3 food trends right now that interest you and pique your interest rather?
You know, now we're doing more like a Mexican Vietnamese style. So I think this vision is like really incorporating in a signature cuisine, like more into like New American, because we started from there. I think now we are more like a signature way, like we impress Mexican, but I have also an amazing cook who is like kind of my creative too, my creative side. And we combine all the ideas and then we come out with a great dish, you know? Fantastic. And then it's like Vietnamese, Mexican. So the blend is amazing because we have the spiciness, they have the acidity, they still on the light way, because I don't know if you've ever been in Vietnam, but you know, it's not like heavy food, but it's like super tasty. Like flavors, spiciness, and so we are like kind of blending from there. So for me, that's definitely Vietnamese, Mexican is the way we're going.
Fantastic. We have 2 questions left, and very important. These are the last 2. What would you say makes up, what's the good root or seed or component of being a good chef?
I think the honesty, the cleanliness, punctuality, and consistency. But you definitely need consistency to get there, you know? You don't have commitment, also you don't get there. So without commitment and consistency, you don't get to the goal that you want, for sure.
Here at South Florida Food Chat, I've implemented a final question that we ask all of our guests. And I always like to hear the answers because they vary. But if you could have a meal in your restaurant with anybody who's dead or alive, who's the person and what would the meal be?
Definitely it's called Siddhartha Gautama. He's Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
So Buddha is a person who has the yin yang, no?
Mm-hmm. Yin and yang.
It's not the all the pleasure, but it's not the opposite side, like no pleasure. So he has the middle side. Even he has a son. So I think it's a very great point of view of life. So I would love to have him on my restaurant, sitting down and making a meal that can be tasteful, but not for sure, not going also. I respect a lot of vegan, but not going also from there, but not going to the other side. Something in the middle with my Mexican way.
Well, what's one dish that comes to mind?
There is, I think, a signature dish that I have. It's called the shrimp tacos zarandeados. It has a marination with chile ancho. It goes together in the grill with charcoal. I made the flour tortillas in-house. And I put like a slaw with also blood orange vinaigrette. And yuzu kosho made with guacamole. And green chile yuzu kosho. Green yuzu, sorry. From there, I blend everything. Well, not blending. It's like everything in the taco
comes together.
Boom.
Excellent.
Yes.
Sounds
so
delicious.
definitely, I will do that for you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Chef, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Been excellent. This is Chef Michael Jacobs, South Florida Food Chat. Thank you for joining.